Cool. Right. Well, we're in the game. So we've got Greedisgood, SSP and Ashton over on the left-hand side, and we've got Banana Boys, Adams and Widderson over on the right-hand side. And I just want to zoom in on lane one there for SSP because what a glorious guild emblem that is. Truly beautiful. We
I'll
see
do that in a
three
second. Sorry.
Three very interesting spells, Legion spells. We've got Pulverizer, recently buffed, and I have to say, I love the new Pulverizer. I think the attack speed boost that it gives now, plus 10%, is exactly what that spell needed. It's changed it from being like a really kind of lackluster spell that was only good on Doppelganger to being a really good choice. Because plus 10% on any of your like DPS carry units is really strong. And coupled with the stun as well, it's a damn good spell now. Creditor, a very interesting spell. Discourages his big sends on 10 because it gives you a kind of free creditor. It's a spell where you shift 180 gold or up to 180 gold every wave and receive 50% bonus gold based on how much you saved. So you can gain potentially 90 gold on 11, 90 gold on 12, and another 90 gold on 13 if you maximize the use of it. Again, risky though, because holding that much gold back means you're not spending it on fighters, means you might be susceptible to a big send. Titan is the third spell, which is a big boost to HP. Very good for your main tank to give you that extra survivability, or for something like a doppelganger where you just want to keep it alive as long as possible. So three very strong spells, I think, for this game, and let's get into it.
All right. Yeah, everything is done. Everything is correct. King ups are all over the lanes, and so very safe start for everyone trying to get that extra income. And as we can see in
Yeah,
the income, we see three greed mastermind option with the income of 11, and one either is lock-in or redraw for Adamas.
I think Adams used redraw there. I'm not sure. The only reason I say he didn't use lock-in is because there's no angler there.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
Cloud is asking what we can participate in. So there is a $20 essence giveaway. If you type participate at Shadowings, he'll note your name down and enter you into the raffle.
So yeah, thank you. All right, so we will see a recent on from SSP onto Adamus, and that might caught him off guard. Does that lead to a snail?
I mean, we're about to find out. It should,
Oh wait, you're robotic now.
might have just been a ping spike there. Is it
Yeah,
any better?
yeah, that's better. It was just a ping spike. All right, just wanted to
Oh,
make
this
sure.
looks like a big leak on Adams.
Oh yeah, and this is not looking good here. You graded the 5 workers. That is something you really try to do with Windhawk when you receive a 20 on 1, but you are in risk of receiving a snail on 2. It is sure extra time for you, but since you just did 2 times king ups on wave 1 and 2, then you really relieve a lot of pressure already, and you really fall behind because now you have less gold to work with. And let's just look at how much gold he lost in total. He lost a total of 23 golds just from this league.
Yeah, that's a lot this early in the game. If you think that greed is +2 income, he's just lost 11 and a half waves worth of greed.
So yeah, so that's already a lot, and let's see if he can recover. And with this leak and these sands, you see SSP and Ashton already at 6 workers at wave 3.
Yeah. Ashton could be vulnerable to a dragon turtle here, but it looks like Adams is not sending. And look at this, because Greed is good, are really living up to their name here. Both of them on 6 workers already by the end of wave 2.
So yeah, and we see again a sand. So that is a total of a 80 total sand on wave 3 for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a super high income game, it looks
And
like. No one's going to long
Adamus
save
is
just
really
yet.
looking rough here. Another leak.
He is, yeah.
So this extra gold just allows SSP and Ashton to be really in a good position to hold the next wave they will receive Ascent on.
Yeah. Could be big sends coming out because Adams can send a dino income if he wants to, and I think that's a pretty strong play.
Yeah, the Dino play might be very good, especially against the Green Devil and Buzz. And
Ashton has
also,
150 though. He can drop like a butcher if he wants to.
ooh, but the
He's going in
consort
for
is
the
coming
the
in.
consort. Consort's very strong here, very very strong. But now his gold's quite ugly with only 74 gold left. What can you build?
But
So
wait,
yeah,
he
he's selling
decided
the consort.
against it,
Maybe he
so
is going to go. No, okay. I think he's
a lot
deciding
of
whether he
his
wants butcher or consort.
a lot of hesitation here.
Yeah, this is classic Ashton. He always builds right up to the mark.
But this kind of positioning means that the consort will target the dino first. Oh no, he had the snail, so the dino goes at the DPS role here.
Yeah, the snail's not great. Maybe he thought there would be a consort in the split, in which case it would have made sense. But it is going to go around there now, and because it has lower HP, it should take this consort aggro.
Oh yeah, the consort is getting down very fast, and now does the green devil target the dino?
It is, yes, it is.
Yeah,
So
it
it's going
is.
to leak pretty hard.
So this is a bit of a revenge here for Adamus after leaking all of those waves. So he'll take that because this amount of leak just almost compensate completely the leaks he did. So we're gonna look at this and look at the amount Ashton lost from those leaks compared to the one of Adamus.
Yeah, but look at the Mythium saved up for Greedisgood now, nearly 100 apiece.
Oh yeah, and they're sending now. So this leak,
Only income sends, though.
yeah. So just update on this leak. Overall, Ashton lost 39 gold from this leak only, and Adamus lost a total of 49 gold, considering all of his leaks.
Yeah, but can I just point something out? Because Ashton has 50% more workers than Adams, and that is big at this stage in the game.
Oh yeah, the 9 workers is quite aggressive. So even though he leaked, he knows that he is safe on wave 5 and allows himself to go for the 9 workers. And so with
Yeah,
those 9 workers, we can expect a resend on Widderson on wave 6.
they're
Um,
really living up to their name. They're taking no prisoners, are they? SSP and Ashton with those worker counts is crazy. But Widderson matching Ashton now, pushing up to 9 workers himself.
yeah, and he's holding the send from Ashton here. And so this is very good for him. But will he overgreed? We see a small leak from SSP because of the 3 dragon turtles he received from Widderson.
Oh, look at this Widderson saying, I'm not one to be outgreeded. He pushes right up to 10.
But yeah, but will this hurt him on wave 6? Because he does not have the best composition.
It almost doesn't matter because Adams is holding wave 6 for sure. And if it means that they can break them super hard on... Oh no, he's sending on 6. I was just going to say, if it means they can break them really hard on 7 because they both look kind of vulnerable, then it would have been worth a small pro league here for Widderson.
Oh yeah. But now this, I think he will not add anything else but the Fiend. I think this was just to get something special. No, he will send full. So you're trying to get SSP greeting a little bit, but with 600 value, I believe this is well enough to hold.
Yeah.
And especially with the fire elemental, players tend to underestimate it. Um, just because it only needs a lot of time because the bane damage is the spell damage that it gets from his passive. This is 50 magic damage, and so this is not pierce. So mainly the damage for fire elemental is magic and not pierce.
Yep. And with the Royal Guard that he had here, he was just really quite strong on 6 actually. That's why I didn't like this end. I think they could have broken both of them really hard with some friends on 7. And Adams is sending 2 friends and a snail over to Ashton, and I think that's going to crush him. I don't see Ashton having much chance of holding here. He's got another 110 gold to spend. He'll put himself up to 7 value, but he's really, really weak here.
Yeah, and just to for the viewers, friends are brutes in the language of Penny because he likes them very much, and so he wants to be friend with them. But those are brutes coming on Ashton's lane, and we will look at that because this is a larger set. And right now, the split did take a brute out of the main wave, but now the 2 brutes can reunite together and remove
Yeah,
some of the healing of the main units. And the Wanderer
and
dying
Ashton's
last,
getting
that's not
crushed.
something you want to see.
Ashton getting absolutely crushed. 102% leak. That's why I really wanted Widderson to send on 7 Wither Dams, because they would have got some massive king damage here if they sent together.
Yeah, but I think they want to play for the later part of the game and try to league them individually on their weakest wave because Aquas are not to be underestimated on wave 7.
No, you're right, but 2 brutes would still have crushed him, and when all of his tank line is natural armor with those bucklers, it would have been a very strong play.
Yes, indeed. So more gold onto them, and the reset is coming. Wave 8 is not to be underestimated now with the current changes. Larger attack speed. Uh, People tends to get caught off guard from the new attack speed, and sometimes you seem pretty strong on that wave, but with this bonus attack speed, the DPS is so high that you cannot really. Uh, so you cannot really. You're not used to it, so you're pretty much getting off guard. Getting caught off guard.
Yeah, exactly, and it looks like Ashton's quite heavily undervalued. Oh, never
Oh,
mind, he's just upgraded a
yeah.
consort, he's okay now.
But the consort
But still weak.
is very weak on wave 8, and especially with the high DPS here. If only
Yeah.
one Cobra goes on the consort very early, then it's over for this consort. Look at this, the
Yeah,
consort is just melting.
the consort does high damage itself, but like you say, as soon as it starts taking damage, it dies really fast. And because he played it in the top right on his butcher, so a tanking spot, it took aggro before his green devil and his gargoyle. He wanted it, I think, bottom left,
Oof.
so that it can live longer and do damage before it dies.
And they caught SSP greeting here, and this is a leak for the Aqua player.
Yeah, that's a shame
But
because
this
if
is a
he
massive
didn't
leak
treasure hunt, he would
on
have folded.
NetMS also.
Yeah.
But
But this time it's Widderson's turn to hold. Widderson's going to clean up some of that in the mid before it gets to king. And meanwhile, we're going to see a fair bit more king damage here. This king's going to go down to 60%.
oh yeah, easily. And we can see here, Adam has 14 workers, Widderson 17 workers, and the early worker advantage that SSB and Ashton had just disappeared right after wave 7 and 8.
I mean, look at this. Workers on wave 9, 19 workers on wave 9, 20
20.
workers on wave 9. Widderson, dude.
Where is getting
I
all
can't
of
I
this
can't
money?
talk fast enough to keep up with his workers.
Yeah, this is
This is what I mean. I was watching when he pops off, man, he really pops off.
a crazy show of skill here from Widderson, and really a statement of I'm here to win the $50.
Yeah, he's man. 20 workers on 9. I haven't seen it in a while.
And yeah, now when will they go with that? I think they need to send more often than not. Just because they need to sustain this amount of workers, and so they need to income to back it up. So
Yeah,
I
but
believe they will
they can
need
crush
to
their
send.
opponents on 10 as well, I think.
Yeah, and the wave 10 send is coming for almost everyone. We see SSP going for income, Adam is going for an aggressive pack leader.
I mean, Widderson's going to send Ghost Knight, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ghost Knight is
there
coming
is.
before income as well.
But Ashton with the Starcaller, a very, very good call from him here.
Oh yeah,
The
and
best unit you can possibly have against a Ghost Knight.
but this Ghost Knight is going on SSP, right? Yes.
Oh, I looked the wrong way around. Yeah, you're right. So the Ghost Knight's going to destroy SSP as well. And a Ghost Knight would have destroyed Ashton as well if he didn't have the caller.
Yeah, so on Ashton it is a pack leader, so he wants to kill all those units pretty fast with the buff and damage that the pack leader gives.
Ghost Knight going left into SSP, so tanking all of that impact damage from the Badger and the Buckler. And the Alpha Male does very low damage to it as well. The Alpha Male is a great tank, but not a great damage dealer.
Yeah, but the Ghost Knight is still down, so this if Ashton holds with this Star Carter, then he has a chance, but this does not look like a hold from Ashton.
It's not holding, and that's going to be 2 bosses plus a pack leader on the King. It's going to be a lot of damage.
We see a small leak also on the side of Adamus. The Berserker was not enough, but Widderson is holding quite easily.
Oh, he's completely fine with leaking there. Especially while Widderson has 20 workers compared to the 14 of Ashton.
Yeah, so
Any
that's
extra time like this, when you have a big worker lead, is massively in your favour.
okay. And now the thing is that the Legion spell that is coming for everyone, I believe, will be the Creditor. But Ashton didn't send on wave 10. He is the only one that didn't send. He only sent the snail.
Yeah. I'd
And
quite like to see Pulverizer on Widderson's doppelganger, actually.
well, we might see it because he's the one who has been saved on here. So we might see Adamus going for Creditor and Widderson going for Pulverizer.
I think that's the play. I think Adams can be greedy with an econ spell, and I think Widderson should go for a kind of holding spell, so either Titan or Pulverizer. And of the two, I think Pulverizer on a doppel is really good.
Yeah, so we see the Creditor on Adamus. And now we will be missing
Pulverizer
uh,
on the doppel.
Pulverizer on the
Let's go.
double. Here we go.
He needs to spend his gold, though. He's got 200 left.
Okay, so Adamus did not full build, even for with Creditor. Oh no, he did. Sorry. I just caught up back just a bit late. It's just they received the gold after.
Oh, look, that is amazing. If you just look at
Oh
Widderson's
yeah,
doppel eating the Four Eyes, he just stun locks it. As soon as it gets one stun, the Four Eyes just doesn't deal damage anymore.
and this is a hold from Widderson, and you can see the impact of that. 25 workers already.
Yeah, that's insane. This is a incredibly strong showing from Widderson today.
So the thing is, even though he didn't get Creditor, he is in the worker lead by
By a mile, by a country mile.
Oh
That's
my,
that's
wait,
insane.
he's still
He's on
queuing up those
30
workers.
workers.
Okay,
He has
Widderson,
double the workers of anyone else in the
Widderson,
game.
decide on the number you want and then tell us, and we'll say the right number. Just don't add them again and again.
30 workers on wave 12, man. That is impressive. We've got to say that Widderson's just carrying Adams. The old meme in Legion League was that Adams was carrying Widderson, but dude, this is the other way around.
Oh yeah, this is the correct way to play Doppel. The Doppel is this is quite surprising because Doppel normally you want healing on it, but he's making it work without healing.
Yeah, Widderson is just playing like an absolute god. This is really good to watch.
So I might change my tier list after seeing that game. I didn't believe that Nightmare in the right hand could do this well, but the sands are coming on the side of SSP and Ashton, and those are big, are really big.
That's huge send. A 520 send from Widderson, and he still has some Mythium left to send before the wave is out. Yeah, Dan's in the chat. Adam's getting carried as usual. You're
Oh,
right,
yeah.
man. This Widderson is on fire today.
And yeah, confirmation for Julian. This is a best of 3. Yes. Okay, so now
640 send for SSP on wave 13.
they better say the
Wow.
GG here because I think this is over for SSP because even with Aquas, I don't think
Yeah,
he has
he's
enough
taking
time.
so much damage. He has 2.6k value, so he's not slouching, but you can't hold that much Mythium.
Oh no, he does not. Oh no, and Ashton is leaking as well. So
Yeah, wow. What a game.
this
Widderson, well played,
is
man.
this was an impressive one, and this is a win on the side of the Banana Boys. So I'll update the leaderboard. Just talk about the main screen here, and I'll go with the wave by wave. We will not take a long time to talk about the wave by wave, so just go for a overall review.
Yeah, I want to point something out because in the early game, Greedisgood took quite a strong lead fairly early on. Like they both had 6 workers by the end of wave 2. They leaked Dan's 56% on 3. Um, okay, that came with a backswing because Ashton then leaked 75% on 4 to the Dino and the Snail. But it looked like Greedisgood were having quite a good lead, I'd say, for the first 4 waves at least. And then Widderson just started snowballing, just massively, massively snowballing. Because if you look at the graph and you look at total workers, here, player workers, from around wave 7, Widderson just took off and he never slowed down. He was 13 workers on wave 7. He was 20 workers on wave 9, which is mind blowing, by the way. You never see 20 workers on wave 9. And then he was 32 workers on wave 12. Like that kind of economic lead, you just don't come back from that. That was crazy from Widderson. I haven't seen such a strong play in a really long time.
And yeah, just a detail that King Dan's made us look at is that they both shifted for Creditor on with 13 as well. So
Oh,
that,
did they?
yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Okay, okay. I think that was very greedy if they did that. But I don't know if they had a choice. Do you know what I mean? Like they knew they were behind by quite a way. If you look at the gold advantage graph, they were already like
Yeah,
300 gold behind on wave 12, right? Just because of Widderson's huge worker lead. So they think, okay, our only chance now is to take one more greed of the creditor, um, leak small enough that we survive, and then hopefully we've got enough economy to carry ourselves into the late game. So I think it was one of those high risk, high reward decisions where you kind of you're dead if it goes wrong, but you're also dead if you don't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're dead in the
yes.
long run.
So that's the thing. Sometimes you need to take a risk if you want to get back into the game, and that was one of the situation. Um, okay,
Yeah.
so now let's just go to the lobby, just to not waste any time and give a good opportunity for the players so that the event does not go too late for them. Because this is quite a late event for them, and some of the players are required to work tomorrow. So let's not
Some of
lose.
the casters are required to work tomorrow.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's me too. But I'm not in the same time zone, so this is quite early for me. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. So let's open the second game. Banana Boy's in the lead and 1-0. And so can SSP and Ashton make it back? And so if so, how should they change a little bit on how they play here?
I don't think they need to change their playstyle. I think they played the game well. It was just a case of Widderson absolutely popping off, and there's not much you can do in that case. Maybe they should have gone for a long starve against Widders to slow him down a little bit. That's probably the best call. Um, yeah, I'd probably say that was what they should have done. Like Ashton needed to take the sacrifice for his team and starve Widderson out for a couple of waves so that he couldn't just go completely crazy with his workers like he did.
All right, so everyone is ready. The game is starting. And now let's see if we see a little bit of a change here and a little bit of an adaptation on the part of SSP and Ashton. So we did see that they both took greed as a mastermind option, and Adamas did go for the redraw, and Widderson went for the greed. And yet again, we see two greeds on the side of greed is good.
Oh, I think I see what they're doing. I think Widderson rolls greed, tells Adams what his weak wave is, and then Adams goes either redraw or lock in to cover his weakness. Because if you saw that there, Widderson had his greed roll for a good few seconds before
Yes,
Adams chose an option.
that's quite interesting and could be a nice strategy uh, for a team tournament. And we might see this happening more towards the final.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a very strong tournament strategy, actually. If you let your teammate greed and then lock in to cover the weakness, or redraw to cover the weakness, I think is a very good play. And
Yes, and
Widderson's roll is
let's
actually looking pretty decent as well.
yeah. So they're yet to lock in. Oh, SSP did lock in. We see a Grawl, and a Bonk, but he decides to go for the Green Devil start. Very good since he has the Serpent and the Buzzes to support it early.
Yeah, and Growling's a bunk. You definitely don't need to do it on wave one, right? Because a really good thing he can do there is knowing that he looks fairly weak on seven with his Green Devil and consorts. He can drop a Growl on six and guarantee that he gets that bunk out for seven.
So we see two bounty hunters as well. We see one on Adamus and one on
Yeah.
Ashton. Two different starts. Ashton decides for the three worker start, and Adamus decide for the two worker start.
Yeah, Adams always goes with the bounty hunter angler start. When I play it, I only go for a single bounty hunter, but seeing that Adams always does this, probably it's me who's doing it wrong.
Yeah, sure. If the master does it differently, that's it's us, of course.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Adams is the best angler player in the game, so if he does this, then it's clearly the right way to play it.
Yeah, and yet again we see a king up for everybody, uh, maximizing the income they get for the early game. And so they now we see that Ashton is now at 5 workers, and that's the advantage of going for a single bounty hunter here, is that you're allowed to go
Yeah,
5 workers right off the bat, while you see Adamus is stuck on 4. So it's a little bit less Mythium. We can already see the difference here in the Mythium. So it's a little bit of 4 Mythium off for Adamus with his start compared to the others. So it's not a huge difference. But sometimes it is a difference between having a brute, having a dragon turtle, or something like that.
yeah, you're right. I just need to point out as well in Ashton's role, so he has a Nightmare Butcher, but has decided to start with the Angler, which is the correct play because you need to start stacking that mana. And I can see a really good line for him here actually. If he gets the Butcher in time for wave 5 to hold 5, he can then drop a Nightmare on wave 6 to hold 6, and it's also super strong on 7 then as well.
And we also need to say that if it is also good on 8 if you have a decent frontline, and the frontline he
Yeah.
has for 8 is the Gargoyle, one of the best.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good role. So his top end caps out at Nightmare, so it's quite aggressive. He probably doesn't want the game going to wave 15. He's going to want to push hard early and end early, unless he gets something very strong for late game in his reroll.
Yeah, and I think we might see something similar that what Widderson we witnessed from Widderson on the part of Ashton when he gets to the point of the Nightmare and Butcher.
And all of the teams saving now, so there's no Sens coming out on wave 3, which is definitely the right call. If you look at the double steed on Widderson and the Gargoyle
Oh yeah.
here, the Gargoyle here, and obviously the Green Devil here, so probably going to see some wave 4 Sens, I would say. SSP looking the strongest on 4 with that Deep Coiler.
Yeah, and it is a Sea Serpent upgraded. Just a correction here.
Yeah, that's
But
my
yeah,
mistake.
Widderson does not look the best here on wave 4. So it will be the correct play, but does he have anything to cover himself? And it's not looking like it. Maybe a boosted veteran, but I don't see much else.
Boosted Veteran is definitely the strongest thing he can drop here, for sure. And he will leak hard if he doesn't do that.
We see the veteran, and we see the veteran boosted. So
Cool.
this will be a very good hold from Widderson. He does lose 20 gold
What we're
off
going
of
to
that.
see though is the fiend is going to go towards the veteran because there was a snail scent as well, and that is just perfect for Widderson because his boosted veteran doing crazy high damage against that fiend. So that's 60 Mythium pretty much wasted actually with the fiend attacking the veteran like that.
Yeah, so those are looking like holds on both Adams and Widderson. Let's look a little bit on the Ashton side. Ashton is supposed to be holding that. How much chickens are there? 4? Yeah, this is supposed to be a hold. We see an easy hold from SSP as well. But no, this is a leak from Adamus, even with the
Yeah,
Sea
and
Serpent.
Greed is good taking the worker lead again this time. So let's see if they can maintain their lead this time.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see.
Oh, a perfect hold from Ashton. That is a perfect hold. When your last fighter has 0%
Oh
HP
my.
remaining, it doesn't get any better than that.
That's indeed a crazy hold. All right, so what do we see here? We see 8 workers on Ashton. Uh, and this makes sense for wave 5, but now he really needs to get either the Butcher or the Nightmare for wave 6. If he does not get to
Yeah,
those, he will leak really hard on wave 6.
well, he does get a butcher for sure. He's guaranteed a butcher, and if he income sends, he can get. Oh, he is sending, so he might be able to get nightmare as well. I think butcher might be his strongest play for 6 over the nightmare. Nightmare is a good unit on 6, but only when it has lifesteal already.
Yeah, and part of the reason is that the attack type is not really the ideal on wave 6 with Pierce, but still the
Yeah,
DPS is quite high, so that's why we say it's a good unit on wave 6.
it's a glass cannon as well, so it can tank quite well on wave 6 with the swift armor, but it has very low HP. Does the nightmare? So unless it has the lifesteal to keep itself topped up, it can still die quite fast,
Okay, so we see a
even
small
with
leak
swift
on
armor.
Widderson. and we see a very clutch ult on Adamus.
Yeah, look at the Mythium though. 100 Mythium on Widderson, 80 Mythium on Adams. When do they want to send? I think they want to send 7. I think
Because of
7
the
is a very
consort,
good send for them.
definitely. The consort on SSP will melt to wave 7, and the Green Devil will not do damage to the wave. And so if you see Brutes on that wave, and this means it will leak. The only thing is that SSP is not getting the deep quarter.
I just I just read Cloud's message in your chat,
Yeah.
dude.
That's
Nice,
what you
dude.
get
Thank
for
you.
being the nicest voice of Legion, okay? So,
Yeah, so we see the Nightmare here from Ashton. That's a good pick. And I think he is building for Wave 7 already.
yeah, I think they are reading the Wave 7 send correctly. And just to mention to Jules, if he is watching, you can make money off an answer pack with Penny's voice. Just a note on that.
Only if I get royalties, though.
All right, will we see the brutes on wave 7 from Widderson and Adamas?
Yeah, I think
Widderson
it's going
will
to be
get
Brutes.
3 brutes if he decides to go for it. Ashton goes for the cannoneer, so full income on the side of Ashton, and I think for SSP as well. Yes, SSP as well. So it's a
Okay, a
mimic.
Mimic for Widderson. That's a good call as well. It will shred the Green Devil and then hopefully go back to the Coiler, unless SSP increases his split, which it looks like he's not doing. So this Mimic a perfect send from
Okay.
Widderson in this case, because it
So
will go to the Devil.
just a note with that, the mimic might go on this side, on the side of the
With the
consort.
Snail now as well, it can go funny.
So, since the mimic spawns more in the back, so for the viewers, since it spawns more in the back, but now the split is just correct here. It did not get
Oh,
pushed.
it's going to shred. It's going to
Yes.
absolutely shred those two Devils and then turn onto the Coiler. This is perfect aggro. Well, perfect if
The
you're
mimic
Widderson,
is
not
now getting
perfect if you're
targeted, but
SSP.
by what? I do not see. No, okay, it was just the buzzers.
It's being hit by the Devil, and it is now going to be hit by the Coiler, but can the Coiler kill it in time?
No, the
And the
DPS
answer is
from the wave
no.
is too
That's
high.
really unfortunate. That's one more hit on the Mimic from the Coiler, and SSP gains 45 gold. It's so crushing when you see something like that.
And we see a leak also from the part of Ashton, quite small, but this is a mimic plus a brute on the king. The mimic will die to a
Low
single
HP
hit.
though.
Yeah,
So the low HP really bad for SSP, but really good for when it comes to the king because it will die in one shot.
just a note on the line of of Adamus and Widderson, they both held the income send, so no king damage on their side.
Yeah, and really high gold value already. So Adam's now being the one to take the worker lead, pushing up to 11, knowing that he's strong on wave 8.
Yeah, and we can see really fast here the amount of gold they lost from leak is not that high. But the problem is that the amount of money they gain from the king damage, that's where it hurts the most.
Yeah, Adams needs to shift 50 gold at least here, though, to make sure that he gets a kingpin on wave 9. Oh, he's not doing. That means he has to send on 9. Um,
And with the
yeah, he's
amount of mythium
expecting a
they have,
resend here.
with the amount of mythium they have, and the composition of Adamus, they might try it, but yeah, no. Widderson is so strong on 9, so I don't know what they will try to do here.
Yeah, I mean, a big wave 9 send would have been really strong against the Dams. And if he doesn't get a kingpin here, he will leak super hard to it. That's why I'm kind of surprised that he didn't shift any gold. But this is a Dams, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So let's see here. How much gold will he have? 72 plus. No, this is not enough for the kingpin. That's for sure. He is 30 off. Oh wait, he's sending for income. It is 8 off, 8 gold off now. 2
2
gold
gold.
off.
Okay,
So
so he
this
can
is a
just sell a
proton.
proton.
Yeah. I think this will be a split. Yes, selling the proton for the kingpin. This is a correct play.
Oh, I love this skin as well. Zoom in on that baby shark.
All right, let's go.
Look at it, dude. It's glorious.
It's better on the side when you see his high.
Yeah, yeah. I love the love hearts when he gets a killing blow.
Yeah, and this is purely income send on the part of SSP and Ashton. So this
Thing is,
should not be a leak on both Adamus and Widderson. Let's more look on the broods coming on the side of SSP and Ashton. 3 broods on SSP, 2 broods on Ashton.
I think Ashton should hold here with the head chef and with the nightmare, as long as the nightmare doesn't take stupid aggro, which it looks like it's not. So he should be okay. SSP doing okay. 2 brutes on the coiler though.
Yeah, that hurts.
That's a real
That's hurting
shame. If
him.
one of those had gone onto the antler, I think he would have held.
Yeah, and the brutes are so low right now. Come on, Green Devil, do
Yeah,
it. Alright, he
yeah.
got them. He got
Oh,
them.
that's fine. That's a small leak. That's totally fine for him.
Alright, and we
But
will
Ashton
see a
is
leak
leaking as
from Ashton.
well.
There was too much aggro on the Butcher and not enough on the Bounty Hunter. And so the sharing of the damage was not perfect. So 2 brute, it's not the end of the world, but yet again, Adamus and Widderson holds the stand from Ashton and SSB, and they just keep falling behind and behind as long as they keep trying for the same wave as Widderson and Adamus.
Yeah, SSP in particular is starting to struggle now. So Ashton's managing to keep pace nearly with 14 workers, but SSP on 11 is just going to keep falling further and further behind. He needs to take a risk at some point and just push. Just say, you know what, it's wave 10. I'm really strong here with my consorts and my coiler. I'm going to push.
Yeah, and what could we see? There's no aggressive spell, there's only defensive spell in the Sacrifice, Investment, and Protector. Let's not talk about investment because this one is not likely to be taken. It's surely between the Protector and the Sacrifice.
Yeah, I did see Widderson take investment yesterday, but for me, investment isn't a choice. I wouldn't take investment over anything else. I don't think.
Uh, yeah, so just for the viewers, investment is just a net increase in income of plus 34. And since it's not an instant bonus, it's not favored. And also you can easily get plus 34 income if you have a large amount of workers enough. And so it depends on the situation, but it is rarely the first option you look at. Protector is so much more value, and this is a small league from Widderson. I did not expect that to this kind of. Oh, it was 2 feet. I only saw one.
Well, that's fine though because they're saving and they have a massive worker lead. So an extra 30 seconds here while Loss comes down and Adams cleans it and then it goes to King is perfect for them. Look at this. They both can send Ghost Knights or Four Eyes if they want to, or they can continue to save.
Okay, it looks like they want to continue to save, and then investment might make sense if they want to go super late. And we're maybe
SSP
talking
takes
about.
Sacrifice.
Yes, that is a strategy you can do if you want to do bunk. The bunk is very good on 11, 12, but not very good on wave 13. So you can easily go for the Haven on 12 if you require it. But then if they don't decide to go 12, you can just sacrifice it and go for a unit that is very good on 13.
Yeah, I think that's a solid play. And Adam's taking the Protector, is what I'd expect to see from the Kingpin. Wood is taking Protector as well. He doesn't really have any good Protector units.
I think he
Is he
just
going to
got
put it
one
on a
here.
gate?
He's not showing it because there's 2 money spell, so you can easily hide the aura, and they might think they went for the sacrifice because they're still saving, so we need the extra money. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think hiding it when these are the other options is that powerful. I think hiding is something you want to do when there's aggressive spells or high risk spells. So if there's something like Venture or Creditor, then hiding is very strong to make your opponent think you have one of those. Or if there's something like All Out Assault or Press the Attack, then hiding it is very strong to make your opponent play safe.
Wave 13 seems to be the call for both Adams and Widderson here.
It's a good call. It's a very strong call. Um, SSP will have the sacrifice there, but what does he build? Because he
He,
doesn't really have any good units on 13. I
okay,
guess he'll sacrifice his bunk, but what else has he got? He'll have a
so
white
I
mane,
think it will be
maybe a
the
king claw.
sacrifice into White Mane and King Claw. He will have enough money for both of them.
He will, but he's going to be receiving 600 Mythium as well.
So it will not be enough, of course. But he will still have money for both of them. So the hope is that the doppel from Ashton will be able to like carry them a little bit, but Four Eyes will come in, that's for sure, against what Ashton will have. So even with double edge butcher buff, I don't think the doppel can survive the onslaught of two Four Eyes as they are coming here.
Yeah, you called it. Ashton sending income, SSP sending income, so not expecting to leak their opponents, just trying to keep themselves alive. If we do see the sacrifice on the banana bunk into the white mane and the king floor, so the best thing that SSP can do here, but he's got no DPS for the wave. He hasn't got something like a doppelganger. He hasn't got something like I don't know an Azaria or something that does really good damage on 13. So even though he has very high value and very good tanks, I don't see SSP holding here.
Yeah, and the Centaur coming with a pack leader is very good against what he has right now, because the Centaur will live forever and deal damage to many, many units at the same time.
Yeah, straight there, tanking all of that impact damage so
Oh,
the wave is staying safe.
the core is getting targeted right now. That
The
means the
Coilers
4
was a good
will
call.
survive.
Oh, it doesn't even kill one Four Eyes. That's a real shame. We see the question mark pings coming out. I guess Ashton is really sad about not killing that Four Eyes. I would be too.
Yeah, for some reason, the 4 eyes both decided to go on the split instead of
Oh,
the main wave. Also, this
that's
is part of the
heartbreaking.
integration.
That's heartbreak. Ashton leaving a Golem on 5% HP,
Oh
Four
yeah,
Eyes on
no, that.
18% HP, and that's GG.
And so this is
And
a 2-0 from 2-0 from the Banana Boys, ahead of the Greedisgood. So Greedisgood is
yeah,
out of the show match, but very well played, very good showing. I think the weakness here that they shown is that they just accepted that they would leak and never tried for a proactive play. They were already on the defensive right from the start.
yeah, I agree. And I've just got to say that Banana Boys played fantastically for both of those games. I don't think SSP and Ashton made any major mistakes. Um, maybe sending a bit too much income in the first game and letting Widderson get huge, but it was more like Banana Boys just playing out of their minds in this series, and I think they're playing even better than they were in Legion League. I've got to say.
Yes, yes, the consistency, the showing of them, they are solid, of course. Yes, I don't want um, to let go of any of the praise. They are really uh well, they really well, it was very well played. I don't know the exact wording, of course. Yeah, sorry.
You can
uh
say it in French.
yeah, no, I prefer to keep it in English, so that everybody understands. uh but
En
yeah.
français, c'est incroyable. That one's for
As
SSP.
I
It's
found
just
the
come
word
into the chat.
that I don't want to retire them for the things they are worthy for of the praise they are worthy of, but still SSP and Ashton just played too defensively.
I don't know if I agree. They both were very aggressive in both games early on, and then they kind of fell behind. Like they didn't keep up the pace, right? Because they both had the worker lead in both of these games now. So SSP and Ashton had higher workers in the early game, in both games. But
Yeah,
then something changed, and the Banana Boys kind of long saved a little bit. You saw that massive wave 7 send, and they just put the pressure on. They piled the pressure on, stopped SSP and Ashton from pushing workers. And from doing that, they just got a massive advantage and catapulted themselves to victory off the back of it.
and that's why maybe aggressive wasn't the right word, but what I mean is that they weren't doing something proactive. If you define proactiveness only sending income, not trying to put pressure on your opponent, trying to make them leak, then you make the game a little bit easier for your opponent. So you can be
Yeah,
aggressive at
yeah, yeah.
pushing worker, that's for sure, but you don't exert pressure with those worker.
No, I agree actually. So that it's like being on your back foot, right? It's like a boxer being kind of funneled into the corner against the ropes. And if all you're doing is reacting, if all you're doing is blocking and defending and never counter-attacking, because we didn't see any big saves coming out from SSP and Ashton, really, did we? Um, so if you're never going for a big counter-attack yourself, then the opponent can do whatever they want. They can play their game, and they don't have to adapt to what you're doing.
Yeah. So let's look at a little bit of the graph here. So it was overall a pretty close game, just because they kept going in for income. But yeah, the big punch always coming on the side of the Banana Boys and not on the side of the Greedisgood team.
Ashton's saying in the chat 99% of my game was a big mistake. I think he might be being a little bit harsh on himself, but I'm going to go through the screens on that last game and see if I can pinpoint where he might have gone wrong.
I mean, the split is all right. It's even the early. He didn't raise it ever, so that might have been a problem.
I think on wave 4, the Fiend Snail Send was a bit of a throw. I mean, obviously Ashton didn't know that Widderson was going to have a boosted veteran. He can't know that. Um, but just in general, sending the snail with the Fiend guarantees the Fiend will go right when you want it to go left to tank the gate guard, right? So no matter what, I think sending the snail with the Fiend was a bit of a tilt play because it was sent after income as well, so there's just no real need for it. Maybe a brute snail would have been better, or even just the Fiend on its own would have been better, I think. Um, then he would have maintained a bit more pressure as well. If he'd saved that 20 behind, he could have sent another big send on 6, for example. Uh, Other than that, it looks quite good. I like the way that he started building for 7 already on wave 6, going into the Nightmare,
Yes.
and the Butcher being built for 7. So he received 160 on 7, did leak, but it could have been much worse. SSP leaked 100% there, and I think that was just a fantastic send from Widderson with the Mimic and good aggro going straight on his Green Devils. The 100% was a bit misleading there because obviously the Mimic was on like 10% HP or something like that, so it didn't do as much king damage as you might expect from a leak of that size. And I think it was just that wave 7 really
Yeah.
was the turning point. Them saving for that big send on 7 meant that Greedisgood couldn't push workers, couldn't live up to their name, took 50% king damage, and then that's just a really difficult economic disadvantage to come back from already by wave 7.
Yes, exactly. And that's the power of being proactive in a game. Uh, Having the dictating the pace of the game. That's what Adamas and Wilson did, because they dictated on what way they wanted to send, and SSP and Ashton were kind of forced to deal with the mismatch they had and try and manage it. And that's what pressure does for you. So that was a great showing for that.
Yeah, 100%. They were in the driver's seat.
And so, well played for both of the team. Adamas and Wilson will play for the $50 prize pool after the giveaway takes place. Remember, chat, to write